Hello soulmates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we'll be recreating this outfit by the right. So it is a Queen Anne neckline long gown. It is a sleeveless long gown with a Queen Anne neckline and a side ruffles. As you can see my recreation on the screen right now. So if this is something you want to learn how to cut and how to sew, definitely this video is for you. Just keep watching. Before we continue, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you. Welcome back guys. So we'll start with the upper part of this dress. So this is the pattern for the upper part. As you can see that I've already drafted my bustier. This is because I have a lot of videos on how to draft that. So I will just link some up here and I'll pin some in the comment section so that you can understand how I draft this bustier. So the next thing we'll be doing now is to measure 2.5 inches at the shoulder area, and then we'll go ahead and do the shoulder slope, which is 1 inches below. So I'll just connect this point like this. Yes. So the next thing is to measure the wideness at the lower part. So for me I use 8.5. So 8.5 divided by 2, it is 4.25 inch. So since this pattern is on photo, I measured 4.25 inch at that area, that upper bust line. So I'll be connecting this shoulder to the upper bust. As you can see where I'm using to connect this, it is not a V shape. It is this curve. It has this curve shape here. So it is not straight like just a V shape. It is curved. So when you are connecting yours, make sure it is also curved. Don't just connect it straight. So I'll go ahead and just cut out my pattern. So that will be all for the upper part. Then we'll go ahead and cut the back bodies. So now at this area, I like to take like 1/4 inches away, just like this. As you can see, I'm slanting it towards the armhole area, just 1/4 inches like that. Just cut it out. Please, 1/4 inches, don't do more than 1/4 inch. So all together like that, for the yoke and the main bodies will be 1/2 inch. Just take that out. So this is the back bodies for the upper part. It has a zipper allowance, and I'm cutting out about up to 1/2 inch away from this part, but I'm replacing it at the waist area at the other side. So this is the armhole and this is the waistline. So for the neckline, we will also do the same thing. So you measure 2.5. This is without the zipper allowance. So if you are calculating the zipper allowance with it, that will be 3.5. So you measure it like that. Then you do your shoulder slope. So that's my shoulder slope. So for the neck depth, you can either use 1 or 2 inches. So I measured 1 inch downward. Then after measuring that, you will just draw your neckline. So after you are done connecting your neckline, the next thing we'll be doing is just to cut out the pattern. Then our back bodice is ready. So this is the fabric I'll be using. It is an Ankara fabric. It is 3 yards. This is my lining and this is the zipper I'll be adding to it. So now we'll start by cutting the lower part. So we'll be cutting the lower part using freehand method. So the first thing I did was to measure 2 inches below at the edge. This will serve as the hemming allowance or the turning allowance because I did not hem the lower part. I turned it. So it will serve as the turning allowance, and if you want to hem yours, it will serve as your hemming allowance. Then you measure your length, your full gown length. So I'm placing my tape like this. My gown is 56 inches. So from the 56 inches, I will measure it. I'll just place the tape like this upward. Because my table is not that wide, so I'll be moving this so that you can see what I'm doing. So since we've measured the lower part, so I will just move it downward so that we can work on the upper part of the skirt's bodies. So since my half length is 15.5, that's 15 and a half. So I'll measure 15 and a half like that. Then I will add extra half inch at the upper part for the joining. So I'll measure half inch right now above this line. That will serve as the joining allowance for the skirt to the upper part. So the next thing I will do is to place my tape on the half length line, that's 15.5 inches. Then I will measure my hip line. So my hip line is 24 inches. So I'll measure it like this. Then I'll go ahead and measure my short gown length, which is 38. Then I'll go up by 6 inches from that line, that's 32. So whatsoever your short gown length is, you measure it, then you go up by 6 inches. So you will see the reason why we are doing that very soon. So just roll this line like that, then you roll this other line. So for the short gown line, you just leave that part like that, so we don't need it again. So the next thing to do is to measure your waist divided by 4. So my waist is 24, 24 divided by 4 is 6. So my dart allowance and my sewing allowance, dart allowance 1 inch, sewing allowance 1.5. So at the hip area, I'll measure my hip divided by 4. My hip is 36, that's 9 inches. Then I will add my sewing allowance of 1.5 inches. So at this line below, I'll also measure the same thing I measured at the hip area. So 9 inches plus 1.5, that's 10.5. So I'll connect my waist to the hip, and I'll connect the hip to the line below the hip. So this one will be straight line because they are the same measurements. So now at this line below the hip line, I will take 1 inch away. So I'm doing this because I want my gown to be a pencil long gown. So I'll just place my French cuff like this and connect this not to the hip line, just somewhere below the hip area, maybe like 2 inches below the hip area. So for this lower part here, I'll measure what I have at the hip area, which is 10.5. That is my hip divided by 4 plus my sewing allowance. I'll measure the same thing at this point, and I'll measure the same thing at the edge here. So 10.5, that is your hip measurement divided by 4 and your sewing allowance 1.5. So I'll just roll this line. I'll roll these points. It will be a straight line, so just roll it downward like this. So now we'll do the pencil effect. So this is the hip line here. So I'm trying to show you that that line at the middle is the hip line. So that's the hip line here. So the line below it is the line we'll start the pencil effect. So you will measure 1 inch inward, then you connect this to somewhere below the hip line, like 2 inches below the hip line, 2 to 3 inches below the hip line. As you can see what I did, it is not starting from the hip line, it is below the hip line. So now this line, this measurement, now I'll measure the same 1 inch here. So I'll keep increasing it. So I'll measure 1.25 inch. Then at the last part, I'll measure 1.5. So you see, from 1 inch, we are reducing it up. We are increasing it to 1.5. So the lower part over there has 1.5. This middle part has 1.1 inch. So this upper part here has 1 inch. So as you can see, from 1 inch to 1.5 inch. So this is just to slant this so that it can have the pencil effect. So since we are done with the measurements, it's time to cut. So after I'm done with this cutting, I will use this to cut the back bodice. So this is what the front looks like, and this is the back bodice. So the only difference is the allowance that I have here. That's the zipper allowance and the slit allowance. That's 1.5 inches. So it is the same thing. It is the same thing. So now I went ahead to cut the fabric and also the lining. As you can see, I added half inch all around, but at the waist area, which is the side, I added 1.5. So this is the yoke, so I added half inch all through. So the yoke will be doubled, so each side will be doubled, so I have 4 pieces here. So this is 4 pieces, as you can see. So this is the back bodies. So the zipper allowance, I added extra half inch. This is because for the skirt I'm working with 1.5, so the upper part should be 1.5. So this is the skirt. I've cut the lining. So for this lining, because I'll be turning this, so my lining is always short with 3 inches. So when I sew, everything will balance out. So if you want a detailed tutorial on how to sew a pencil skirt, I will link it up here because I won't be showing the detailed sewing of the skirts. So this is the back also. It is short with 2 inches. So this is the flare we'll be having at the side, and it is folded into 4. So that is 360 degree, and the length is 15 by 15. So I have 15 by 15 inches right here. So I want my flare to be, the ruffles by the side to be 6 inches. So I will sew with half inch, then I will hem it with half inch. So altogether I have 7 inches. So that's the 7 inches I measured right here from the edge. 7 inches, 7 inches. So I'm trying to correct that part there. So I have 7 inches. So for this, so this upper part here, which will be the excess, I noticed that I can still cut another flare from it. So measuring 7 inches again from this side, I still have about an opening here which can still be a flare. So I'll just cut this out like this. Then I'll also I'll open up one side because it does not have any opening. So I'll open up this side. So if you open this up, it will be very long. This is because we'll be making a gathers on it. So this is this other one. So this can be an excess, or if you want yours to be full, you can just add it like I did to mine. So I'll open this up too. Then I will just join the two together. So you join the two together, so it will be very long, so we can make the ruffles. So guys, if you have enough fabric, you can just cut 2 of this, so you make everything double. That is, one will serve as the lining, the other one serve as the fabric, so it will you just turn it. But if you don't have enough fabric, you can just fold it like this and sew the edge, or you can use a bias to turn the edge. So that's what you can do to this flare. So let's start joining the upper bodies. So this is the upper bodies. I went ahead to add stay to it, just paper stay, because I'm not adding a breast part to mine. So I added stay to the yoke. This is just to thicken the fabric, as you can see. So I'll go ahead and sew with my half inch sewing allowance, and I'll also do the same thing to the lining. So this is the back bodies. I will also go ahead and join this together. So after joining the front, this is what I have. Then I'm going ahead to notch all this part here, so that when I'm ironing, it will turn out very well. So that's just what I'm doing. So I'm just trying to notch all this part here. So after notching, I will go ahead and iron. So this is what we have after ironing. As you can see, the breast area, even without the breast pad, it's still very nice. As you can see, the breast shape, yeah. So now this is the yoke. You go ahead and fix it like this. So you hold it down with a pin. So you place the other one too. So you go ahead and also hold it down. So after holding it down, you measure the distance between the two. You know the distance we used was 8.5. So if you measure yours and you notice it is not up to, or it is more than, you just try and adjust and correct that. So when I measured mine, I noticed it was 8 inches and it's supposed to be 8.5. So that's why I'm moving it a little bit backward. So after measuring the second time, it was 8.5 inches. So I'll go ahead and place the lining on it like this. I'll also pin this down. So you pin that down, then you go ahead and sew with half inch. So I would advise you sew this upper part first because we still have to top stitch before joining the side. So this is the back body. So the next thing to do is just to do the darts. So this is what we have for the upper part. So the next thing to do is to go ahead and top stitch at this upper bust area. So you top stitch towards the lining parts, just quarter inch the top stitch. So after top stitching and ironing, this is what it looks like. As you can see, it is looking very fine and very neat. So these are the back bodies. I went ahead to do the darts. So now this is my skirt part, so I'll just go ahead and turn this. After turning, this is what it looks like I said, I have a detailed tutorial on how to go about this. I'll link it up here and it will be in the comment section. So this is what I have. I went ahead to do the darts also, so I went ahead to turn this. So this is the back, this is the front. So it's time to join the upper bodies to the lower bodies. So I will start with the front, then I'll place my upper front bodies on it like this. So and I will pin this. So I ensure that my fronts that they are matching. So my fronts that are matching, but my back that's the darts that I made at the back are not matching. So I'm just trying to make sure that they are on the same line, that when I'm joining they are not far from each other, they are on the same place. So you just go ahead and hold this down. You go ahead and hold it down, then you just go ahead and join it with half inch because the sewing allowance we added is half inch, that is the joining allowance. So you do the same thing too for the back bodies. Like I said, my darts at the back area is not matching, so I'll just go ahead and just hold this down. So after joining, I went ahead to place the back bodies on each other. So I want to join it together. So what I did was to measure 10 inches from the waist area downward. Then I measured 8 inches again at this part. So I'll be sewing this 8 inches part. So this will be my slit. My slit is very high because the skirt is penciled so that I can walk freely. So I went ahead to sew this down. Then I used an hemming gum to iron that part. I fixed hemming gum to that part. So this is the ruffles, and I went ahead to hem this. I did not use a bias tape, so I just hemmed it directly. And this is my front bodice. As you can see, I've went ahead to join this. So for us to fix the ruffles, what I will do is to place my tape like this. So I'm starting from my half length, that is 15.5 inches, so down to my short gown length. So I'll go like 2 inches above my short gown length, or just 1 inches above. So this is 37, my short gown length is 38. So the ruffles will start from the waist to this 37 inches. So since my ruffles is very much, I'll go ahead and make gathers on the ruffles. So I've made gathers on it, and this is about 22 inches. So I'm placing these ruffles on its right side facing each other, that is the right side of the ruffles is facing the right side of the upper body. So I'll place it like this. Make sure that you place it in such a way that there is still space for you to sew. So if your sewing allowance is about 1.5 inches, you can just sew like you leave half inches, then you start fixing the ruffles. So you leave half inches space before fixing the ruffles. So I'll go ahead and join the shoulder parts here. So I'll join the shoulder like this. Also with half inch, I'll place this in between the back shoulder. I will sew like this. Then I will also join the side also. So this is what it looks like. As you can see, the ruffles is inside, is in between the joining we have at the side. So this is what we have. So this is the ruffle. So the ruffle is actually straight. I was the one that ironed it to downward like this. So it was straight like this. So I ironed it downward so that it can slip downward. So this is what the ruffles look like, and this is the gown. So the only thing left is the zipper and the armhole. So I'll use my bias tape to turn this armhole. Then I will fix my zipper. So after fixing it, this is what it looks like. As you can see, this gown is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. I love it. It came out perfect. It came out neat. Everything was on point. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, like, comment, share, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.